Welcome back, everyone, to the 2011 Pokemon TCG World Championships. This is the second game in the best of three between Sami Sekkoum and Ross Cawthon. Sami is the first seed, and he's playing Yon Mega Magnezone, and Ross actually squeaked in at the 16th seed with his very own Rogue deck list. We saw in Game 1 how Ross ended up pulling off a very close nail-biter. Actually, I wouldn't even call that a nail-biter. It seemed very close because they were both at one prize, but it seemed like he had a stranglehold on the matchup. What do you think, Kyle?
Well, he was a nail-biter on the opening turns. If Sami would have gotten a Magnezone out maybe like 5 turns earlier, hey, the game could have turned out differently, but it didn't. So here we are with Ross up 1 game. Not sure how much time is left, but Sami's got to take 4 prizes.
Yep. Now, with the current rules, you do have to take 4 prizes in order for the game to count and take it to Game 3, sudden death. If somebody does not take 4 prizes, then they have +3 turns, or they have +3 turns regardless. But if nobody's taken 4 prizes in that time slot, then the winner of Game 1 is announced the winner.
Yeah, plain and simple, Sami's either got to win the game or take at least 4 prizes by the time, time runs out. So, I mean, you get the extra 3 turns as well after time is called, but it's going to be tough. It'll depend on how quickly Sami gets going and how quickly Ross gets going. So,
yep.
It can go either way, honestly.
Now, we do see them here shuffling up. This is a normal ritual. People are allowed to have, I believe, up to 3 minutes to shuffle.
I think it's 2.
But 2 minutes, okay. And Sami's been waiting. Sami's been waiting for a little while. Sami obviously wants to get this game started as fast as possible, and Ross doesn't really mind.
You can see, just by the demeanors of both players here, who won the first game. Sami's all reared up, ready to go, and Ross is just taking his sweet time. He's in no hurry. So Sami's probably going to be rushing himself. Hopefully he doesn't screw up because of that.
No, but he definitely has to rush himself. If he doesn't, then he's going to be... That would be a misplay on its own, because you need to play as fast as possible in order to be able to give yourself as many turns as possible to get these 4 prizes.
Yeah, Sami usually plays fairly quickly, so I don't think it'll be a problem for him. It's just, how fast is he going to go? Is he not going to think at all and just go straight ahead, or is he going to actually take a little time to think? It's definitely something you got to get used to. You don't really develop that kind of skill just practicing. You have to be in a situation a few times, and I know Sami has before, so.
Now, they are setting up, and they are finally ready to go. And we're seeing a Jirachi start from Sami, the best start in the world, against, I believe, an Oddish and a Solosis.
Yep, that's what it looks like. We have a Judge. Uh-oh.
Turn 1 Judge with a Psychic Energy attached. Now, obviously, he wanted to attach a Psychic Energy, so he can maybe rescue energy attachment onto the Jirachi and sacrifice it later. I don't know. Anyways, ideally, you'd want to attach a Psychic Energy to your active. And he had to Judge, so hopefully he gets some sort of a Collector or a Cleffa out of that. Cleffa with
what do you know?
The best Pokemon you can get out of your Judge. Wow, that's good. He's back in the game.
So we'll have to see how well Ross drew off of his Judge. I mean, there's a chance he could just draw 4 absolutely useless cards and pass his turn.
That's game right there, yeah.
So
now the Pokemon Cleffa stays asleep, and Ross draws his card for the turn. Here, Ross definitely needs some sort of hand, because being down to 4 cards really isn't very good. So you want to have some sort of supporter, or maybe a Cleffa of your own, something. And there's a Sage.
That's not the greatest card in the world to see in the first turn, just because there's so many good cards left in your deck early on. So you're probably going to have to discard something you really wanted to have for later. But, hey, when it's all you got, you work with what you got.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd rather have that than nothing.
Yep.
So he takes 1 card now. He's looking at both of his hands. He's not really sure what he wants to get yet, obviously, and he's trying to figure it out. Here, he still has access to his trainer, so cards like Bird Candy and Pokemon Communication are cards that he wants to keep in his hand because they're so good early game. And I don't believe that Sami's going to be making that same mistake again to be able to... Well, not that he can. I don't believe Sami can actually knock out a Pokemon this turn unless he gets a reversal on the Solosis.
Mm-hmm. I think Sami's just going to try to set up because he needs to get some Yanmegas and some Magnezones and just start bludgeoning Ross to death. He needs to take 4 prizes. He needs to do it as quickly as possible. But looks like we're going to see a communication from Ross. And let's see what he gets. I would assume either Cleffa or Pichu. So
Yeah, both of those Pokemon would be ideal here. And we're going to find out what he gets. Sami makes some sort of a gesture.
looks like Sammy's not too pleased. He wants Ross to hurry up. He's feeling the pressure at the time here. Time is his biggest enemy. And you got to be careful not to rush your opponent and to make them feel pressured. But at the same time, you want enough time to play your game and actually have a chance to win.
Yeah, now he does find that Cleffa with the communication. So looks like both players are going to be eking on their first turns of the game.
Yeah, and Ross, I mean, he probably just looked for and look, Sami had the one ready for the rainbow. He's like, all right, let's get him move on.
All right, so the Cleffa wakes up, and now it's going to be Ross's turn to see if he can wake up or not. But first he's going to shuffle and draw 6.
Yeah, I was going to say Ross probably was just checking to see what was prized. So on the first search, that's perfectly acceptable. If he kept taking that long to search, then I would start getting a little frustrated if I was Sami. But
yeah, exactly.
The first
Again,
one,
Ross,
you can't blame him.
Yeah, Ross is not forced to speed up by any means. It's Sami who's actually kind of forced to speed up. Ross can play his normal game as long as he doesn't do anything that isn't normal. He should be in okay shape. Now, we see a communication out of Sami on his second turn. I'm pretty sure that's going to be fun, either a Yanma or a Magnemite. Probably a Magnemite, to be honest.
Depends on what he has in his hand, but yeah.
He's probably going to be eking this turn. I would just want to start setting up the Magnezone.
The other option is to try to get a Yanmega out right away and knock out an Oddish when there's only one out there, so you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but he looked like he wanted to go for a communication, then he forgot to show his opponent the card, and luckily Ross caught that. So they showed the card without any type of major error there, but that could have been bad.
This is a sign
Sami definitely rushed, yeah.
Sami really is rushing himself. He's feeling the pressure. He doesn't want to lose on time, and he's starting to move faster than his brain can keep up with, unfortunately. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him.
So now we saw a judge again. Here he's hoping that his opponent's Cleffa stays asleep and he doesn't get to eke into a new hand of 6. And hopefully he gets to knock out that Oddish. Again, the judge, he's just going to see if he's going for broke here.
Yeah, this is one way to win a game. Just disrupt your opponent, especially a deck like Ross's when there's so much stuff you need to set up. Just constantly judging him to 4 cards, that could do wonders. Maybe he doesn't get set up in time. Maybe Sami takes 3 prizes before Ross gets anything out. So I like what he's doing. He really needs to set Ross back as far as possible, and he's doing everything he can.
Yeah. Now, obviously, he found the Yanma with communication, but he did have a Magnemite and a Horsey in his hand. So he's got pretty much an ideal setup as long as he can start getting his evolutions into play next turn or in the following turns after. Now that Cleffa woke up for Ross, so he's going to be able to eke himself out of any type of poor hand that Judge might have given him.
Yeah, funny thing I've been noticing is players point their Cleffas in different directions when they fall asleep.
Yeah.
They should actually go to the left, not the right.
Yeah, Sami points it the right way. Ross doesn't, but it's alright.
Just a little thing I noticed. Not too
Alright. Alright, rules lawyer. What are you going to do? Call them out on it?
Just know the rules of the game. Know how it's played, alright?
You're not paralyzed!
Yep. Okay, so wow. We do have a Gloom from Ross. It's a pretty big card to draw.
Yeah, and we see his Zekrom as well, so he does have a kind of like a damage sink, if you will. And he goes for the Eek.
The Cleffa woke up, so that was perfect for Ross.
Alright, so...
and he paralyzes himself again.
Nope. I don't believe he's actually Oh, wow. What happened?
Well, it looks like a judge just bumped into our camera. And, can't really see Ross's field anymore. And there he goes again.
Alright, so the Cleffa does stay asleep, well, paralyzed. And,
well, it looks like the rest of the game we're just going to have a nice view of Sami's field.
Yeah, well, luckily, Sami's field's pretty with the Magnezone on turn 2. Or turn 3, I believe.
Yeah, turn 3, still not bad.
I see a Junkrat and a communication in Sami's hand, so he's going to be able to get a Kingdra into play this turn.
Depends on if he has a Pokemon or not. And there's a collector, so sure. He will be able to get Kingdra.
And well, Kingdra for sure. I would go for the Kingdra. I would junk arm into a rare candy, communication into the Kingdra, and then draw 4 cards, I believe, off the Magnet Zone. I don't know. I can't do math very fast.
Yeah, it's interesting to note Ross only has that one Solosis in play. Can't see his field anymore, but he's got a Gloom, a Solosis, and a Zekrom. So if he knocks out a Solosis this turn, and I assume Ross would play 3. If one of the 3 is prized, he'll only have 1 left to put into play. So Ross won't be able to get Reuniclus out this game if one of those is prized, but we'll have to see.
This is true. That's actually a very good point. Now, we are seeing that communication. So we're going to be looking for, I'm going to say a Kingdra. He could get the Yanmega, but why not just get that Kingdra while you can still play trainers?
Yeah, might as well. It'll also help early on. He can, if Ross doesn't get the Reuniclus out fast enough, he could Spray Splash for a knockout even. So
this is true.
You could actually play it quite interestingly. You could just hit Gloom for 40 and put 10 on Solosis. Who knows?
Now, he does have 2 Yanmas in play. I really would have wanted to see it, 1 Yanma and another Magnemite in play, just because if he can still play the rare candies, then maybe luck himself into a secondary candied Magnet Zone on the next turn. But it is what it is. I don't think it's a major mistake either way.
No, the important thing is he did rare candy the first Magnet Zone, so he'll be able to get out a second one through Magneton still. So
correct.
Won't be a big deal, I don't think.
I think I was right. I think he drew 4.
Nope, that's 5. You were close.
What off. Alright, so now at this point, if he's got a Yanmega, I believe his opponent has a 6-card hand, so he can't attack.
Plays a reversal. Nope, that's still a collector. Seeing things over here.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I don't
You're
know.
in your own little world. Alright, so Cleffa falls asleep.
I looked up, there was a card
extra
next to the
6.
Cleffa. It looked like a reversal, but it's a collector.
Yeah, it's just got a lot of glare.
Oops, my bad.
Alright, so that Cleffa stays asleep. Nope, wakes up, and you don't have to flip for paralysis, buddy. Just wake. Alright, but he does, and he stays paralyzed.
Darn. Usually that goes away when your turn begins again.
Yeah, well, not in Rossland. So we see a Sage out of Ross, and obviously since we can't see the side of the field, we're going to be in the dark for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I wish that Judge hadn't bumped into our camera, but what can you do? We can kind of infer what's happening based on when Sammy takes a prize and whatever, but a lot of it'll be guesswork.
Yeah, unfortunately, technology, the vehicle of our generation,
does have its limits.
Yeah, there's certain things that you can do with it, and there's certain things that kind of are out of your hands. And when we put this match to record, we weren't, we didn't know this was going to happen. To be quite frank.
Yeah, we had a tripod set up with the camera, good view of the game. We set it there, we walked away, so we didn't intrude on the players, and, well, somebody bumped into it when we left, so that's just how it is.
Jeez. Okay, so I see a rainbow energy. I hope.
Some sort of energy on Zekrom.
It's got to be a rainbow. And Cleffa wakes up. So, at this point, I definitely want to see Sammy take a prize this turn. He's got a huge setup. I don't see a reason not to. And
he could. Maybe he doesn't want to play into Twins. He could do some interesting stuff with Kingdra. Looks like Ross doesn't have a Vileplume out yet, so maybe hit the Gloom for 40.
Yeah, that's true. I guess when I said Sammy should take a prize, I meant Sammy should attack. But yeah, if Sammy attacks the Gloom...
That's a big difference, buddy.
Well, not in Crimland. Let's see. So now at this point, we're seeing a couple of Yanmegas that you can't really set up much better than Sammy, given his current board position. So he gets that Judge that he really needed, and maybe he should knock out the Cleffa, the active Cleffa.